Hello and welcome to It's Not So Lonely at the Top podcast. This is a podcast for business leaders and business owners just like you. We're going to be sharing top tips on how to develop yourself personally and professionally. I'm going to be sharing updated podcasts on a regular basis, so please do make sure you subscribe, and I really hope you enjoy today's podcast. Hello and welcome to today's episode of It's Not So Lonely at the Top podcast. I am very much being interviewed today, or coached, I suppose is the right terminology. So Cassandra's kindly visited all the way from North Norfolk this morning, and I've interviewed her. And if you're listening to this, she will have been either on the next episode or on the previous episode. I'm not really sure how it's going to run. However, I think probably on the next episode, on the previous episode even, look at me getting all confused and flustered because I'm about to get coached. I'm very much in the coaching seat or coachee seat today, where I've shared a challenge that I'm having with Cassandra around. I feel like I should be doing more around my coaching and my speaking, and around growing and developing the podcast as well. So I'm going to hand over to Cassandra, and she's going to take the lead with helping me get some clarity because I feel a little bit stuck around this.
Okay.
Is that okay? I'm all right to hand over to you.
Yes.
Thank you. Be nice.
Thank you, Pete. It's a privilege to be in this seat and to be able to do some coaching with you today. So thank you, firstly. And so I'm curious about your problem, as you describe it. So just tell me again, what's the problem?
So I feel like many of the listeners will know that I run a consultancy and training business called Flagship Partners, which is, I suppose, my biggest business, which generates the most revenue and has a team of people working in it. And one of the challenges I find is that I'm developing and growing my leadership development practice and my coaching, as well as paid speaking, and as part of that, this podcast, the It's Not So Lonely at the Top brand, as well as Pete Rushmore as a speaker. And the problem is, and I know I'm waffling here, which is probably one of the challenges, is that I feel like I should be doing more with it. And what ends up happening is that I end up finding challenges in Flagship that I end up going back and fixing, or I end up getting too involved in the day-to-day or whatever it may be with Flagship. And I'm not putting the time and effort in like I'd like to with the podcast and my coaching.
Okay, so I'm just going to ask you again, what specifically is the problem?
Me managing my priorities.
Okay. So you managing your priorities.
Yeah, so I would really like to spend more time. I'd really like to spend the majority of my time working on It's Not So Lonely at the Top and my coaching, and that Flagship Partners will be a more passive part of my working day or week.
Okay. So before we start, is that the real problem, or is there something else?
That's the problem that I'm aware of.
Okay, good. Okay, excellent. And so let's just get clear about what you want firstly then.
Mm-hmm.
So you say that you want to focus more on the podcast and you're talking. So tell me specifically what that looks, sounds and feels like for you. So if, let's say this time next year, you had everything you wanted in those areas of your business, what are you seeing, hearing and feeling?
Well, that's a really good question. So this time next year, I would like to be speaking at a paid event at least one time, at least 2 to 3 times a month. To be really clear, I would like the podcast to have thought about this. I'd like the podcast to have. See, the reason I'm stalling is that I was about to talk about external success for the podcast, which I know I can't control. So I'm a little bit challenged by the question around what I want for the podcast, because what I could say is I want to have 100,000 subscribers and I want it to be downloaded and should be able to charge for advertising and what have you. But the reality is a lot of that is out of my control anyway. So I'm really struggling. I'm actually really struggling to know what objective I'd like to set for the podcast. I know that I want to reach and help support leaders who do feel lonely, and that's why it's called It's Not So Lonely at the top. So I want to access those leaders, and I want them to feel comfortable to be able to contact me to discuss coaching to solve their problems. But when it comes to numbers, I'm really struggling to quantify the impact that that's going to have. Does that make sense?
It does. Do you need to have a number?
I think when it comes to business goal setting, it's always like that SMART expectation, isn't it? That we have a specific number to put on it. The reality is it's more around me making sure that I'm spending I would like to spend the time and effort in growing it and sharing it and reaching a bigger audience, or reaching more and more people as best I can. And I believe that I'm not performing in the way I should be with that.
Okay. So what would happen if you didn't have a number and you spent all of your time really focused on reaching, helping and supporting leaders?
That would be great. That would be really good. I'd really like to do that. I think the challenge I face is that I always find a way of making the challenges in the flagship business on a day-to-day basis like front and center of my what's the right word? My focus is always gets reverted back in one way or another to flagship and the team.
Okay. All right. So let's take it back a step then. What's the purpose for you of setting up the podcast and speaking and being a superstar on TED? What's the purpose of that for you?
So my goal is around helping others. It's about helping serve others around their self-mastery and their awareness of themselves, and helping them realise that success isn't necessarily what others have told them is.
And what else?
I don't think anything additional to that, other than it's really about service of others and supporting others. And what I then get from that is a feeling of being a feeling that I've had an impact, that I've helped someone else grow or turned on their light bulbs to change the course of their life to something that's a bit more fulfilling for them.
That sounds wonderful. And helping serve others to create self-mastery so that you feel that you've had an impact on them. And what's important about that feeling that you get that you've had an impact? What's important about that for you?
It makes me feel like I suppose it makes me feel like I've achieved my purpose or a higher calling, which is, I suppose it's about, a higher calling.
And what is that higher calling?
To support others to support others to really unlock their potential, and to help them achieve fulfillment.
And how will you know when you've done that, or when you're doing it?
It will be, I'll feel it, I think.
Are you doing it now?
That's a really good question. Yeah, I probably am, if people are listening to this. Yeah. So I suppose I feel quite vulnerable, for sure, right? That I'm being coached live on a podcast. So I do feel quite vulnerable. And I'm sure that I'd be, if I wasn't aware of that, and it was just us, I'd probably feel a bit more articulate. I'm being very thoughtful about what I'm saying. But I suppose, yes, through this process of showing that vulnerability, I'm showing others that it's okay to be vulnerable, and it's okay to be coached.
Yeah. Good. Well, I was just going to say, well, what if you were more vulnerable and it was just the two of us? What would you say?
If I was being really vulnerable, I would say that I felt that, not all the time, I would say that I felt conflicted, because sometimes I feel trapped.
Okay.
I feel trapped by the success of Flagship, and I feel that it's very reliant on me and my input. And then I feel a responsibility to my team, to my customers, and therefore I focus my time and energy and effort on fulfilling that obligation.
And how does that feel?
Heavy.
So what could you do about that?
I think, logically, having thought about it, it's about making sure that there are effective systems in place to ensure that all of those demands are met by that ultimately it's less reliant on me. So there's systems to ensure that it's less reliant on me in the long term.
Is it really about systems? Because come on, you're an intelligent man, Pete. What else could it be about?
I suppose it could be about me letting go of control. I don't really know what else.
And if you did?
What, let go of control?
Yeah.
I'm scared. I'm scared to let go of control, because I'm scared of the negative outcomes that may create.
How do you know it would be negative?
I don't know that it'd be negative, but I believe that if I let go of control of my business, it'd fail.
Wow. Okay. So that's quite a big belief there. So if you let go of control of your business, it will fail.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think it could be helpful to let go of that belief?
Hi, my name's Pete, and I want to thank you for tuning into today's podcast. I'm a coach, speaker, and author. And if you want to take your personal development that bit further, did you know that I offer a mastermind program as well as one-to-one coaching? If you're interested, please do reach out on peterushmer.com. Yeah, I reckon it would be. I'm just trying to think what the alternative option could. I guess I'm thinking forward to what the alternative option could be if I was to let go of the belief that if I let go of control of my business, that it would fail. I don't know.
Okay, well, let me ask you a different question. Do you believe in the possibility that your business could be really successful without you in it?
Yeah, I believe it could be successful without me in it. That's weird. So yeah, but I believe it.
Do you?
Yeah. I do. I ask me the question again. Sorry. Do I believe?
Do you believe that your business could be successful without you in it?
Yes. Yes, I do believe that.
Okay.
But I also believe that if I let go of control, it'll fail.
So what we have here is a bit of a conflict, perhaps. What would you need to let go of to believe that you don't need to be in your business for it to be really successful?
I suppose I need to let go of the need for control and believe in that I have all the answers. I think there's also a belief that people do business with Flagship because I'm involved, and therefore they're doing business with me, and therefore they expect me to be part of it.
Okay.
Is this going where you expected it to go?
Well, I was just thinking I do business with Virgin, but I don't know if I expect to see Richard Branson.
Well, that's a very good question, yeah, and that's a good observation. It's really interesting, isn't it? Because whilst I'm going through this process, I'm recognising that it's probably a big challenge. So the people I know that listen to the podcast is probably something that's quite will resonate with them as well, right?
Yeah.
So common challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think so firstly, thank you for being so open, because I appreciate that this is on a podcast with potential clients or current clients. That's a courageous place to be, firstly, Pete.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel quite vulnerable because I feel like that people, like prospective clients listening, might think, oh, well, he can't obviously cope with managing all of his workload, right? But the reality is that the reassurance piece is that I am making sure that everything works. I think that the challenge is around the internal element of what it is that I want to focus most on.
Yes, because actually, isn't it interesting that your concern is that people will think you're not coping?
Yeah, my concern is that people listening will think that I'm not coping, and the reality is that there's nothing more important to me than making sure that I deliver, or the business, and I deliver on whatever our obligations are.
So, I mean, what I hear, Pete, is that's just a story you're making up in your head.
Okay.
Because actually, what I hear is, I have this great business that's really successful, and I care so passionately about it continuing to be successful that I am not feeling fulfilled in other areas of life and in the areas of which I really want to continue, which actually is also helping people that probably are your current clients that could benefit from some of your additional services that you're providing.
Sure.
So actually, what if it's not one or the other? What if it's both, just differently?
Sure.
Which is why I think it's really important to have a really strong understanding of what you want and the purpose of, what is, as I said earlier, well, what is the purpose? What do you want from your podcast,
Mm-hmm.
coaching,
Mm-hmm.
talking, all of which you're brilliant at.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
But it's what do you want that to look like? And
Sure.
once you're kind of clear with that, because the reason you're being pulled back is because it's comfortable, right?
Sure.
It's safe. And our brain does absolutely everything it can to be safe.
Yeah.
Appreciate there's some chemicals involved, but the reason people take drugs, they understand it. Like it's safe. The reason that people stay with people that might not be a great relationship is because it's familiar.
Yeah.
And
sure.
our brain likes what's familiar because it keeps us safe. So
Sure.
That's possibly what's getting you stuck, and you haven't got a big enough pull to well, what's the purpose of the podcast, and what would happen if you forgot the numbers
Mm-hmm.
and just focused on who you're serving. So let me ask you a question. When you think about your podcast,
Mm-hmm.
do you have a person in mind? Do you have like one person that you see that you think, yeah, that's who's listening. That's who I'm helping today.
That's a really good question. I think I see most of my clients,
Yeah,
really.
okay.
I see most of my clients who are listening, and I think that it's really challenging because whether I'm serving them through Flagship or whether I'm serving them through It's Not So Lonely at the Top, I think that the key thing is that it's the service of supporting them that is what motivates me. But the demotivation comes from getting bogged down in the day-to-day of solving problems, invoicing, booking things, like the day-to-day business activity that has to be done. When really I want to be focused on having great quality conversations with those people, serving them at the very highest level possible to solve their problems, not just I suppose pinging emails and pushing emails around and things like that. I find all of that quite dull.
Yeah, because in your map of the world, it's not serving.
Yeah, it's not valuable.
So-
It's not valuable. So it's about focusing on the most valuable work and most valuable use of my time.
Okay. I say it again, you're an intelligent man. There's probably somebody that could do that work for you. You could find somebody to do that, but you haven't
No,
because it's safe
because it's safe.
and stopping you from doing the thing that you want to do,
Sure.
or that you tell me you want to do. Do you want to do it?
Of course I want to do it. Yeah, absolutely I want to do it. So what you're saying is, it sounds like the conclusion I'm being drawn to is that I need to recruit somebody into the Flagship business to take a lot of my day-to-day administrative tasks off me in managing and running that business.
What do you think?
I feel like we've hit the nail on the head here.
Oh, there we go. There we go. And what's stopping you from doing that?
Yeah, very, very little, really. Yeah, very little indeed. I suppose the only thing stopping me is finding the right person, but I won't find the right person if I'm not looking for them.
No. And is that really stopping you?
No, it's not. No. So thank you. That's been very, 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 very enlightening. It didn't end up where I anticipated it ending up, to be fair.
No, we could probably take it a lot, a lot further if we had more time.
Yeah, sure. And I appreciate that, because we have been bound by being kicked out of the studio, right? So we only had a short period of time. But I think what's really interesting for the listeners is, I just want to sort of play back the process my head's just been through as part of that being coached. I genuinely didn't know where we were going, if that makes sense. I genuinely didn't know the answer. And it might seem really basic, right? That I've got a successful business and I keep getting like taking control and fixing problems and solving things. But sometimes you just don't realize how much you're getting in your own way with things, you know. And
Yeah.
I think it's helped me to sort of understand that whilst I find that de-energizing, that I'm doing work that I believe, I suppose that someone else could do or might find more fulfilling than me doing, because I want to spend my time doing more fulfilling work. I guess the other thing has been the vulnerability piece has been around admitting that I've got a problem that I need help with the problem, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
And I think one of the things we often tell ourselves is if we spend more time thinking about it and challenging ourselves and in our own heads about it, that actually we get some clarity. But it was really interesting to actually go through the process with you and help me get that clarity of where I was heading.
I think so often when we ruminate on things and do it internally in our head, we keep having the same, what I'd call Netflix on repeat, as opposed to actually talking to somebody else or journaling, as we spoke about in the previous podcast. And the podcast we just did a moment ago when you were interviewing me, we spoke about secondary gain. And I think clearly there is some secondary gain, which basically means benefit for you of holding back and that piece of control, because it's making you feel safe and wanted and significant, which is a human need.
Sure.
And there's nothing wrong with any of that. It's just being observant to it.
Yeah.
And asking, perhaps, is it what I want?
Yeah.
So, Pete, thank you for being courageous today.
All right. Yeah. And thank you for coaching me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you for listening to today's podcast. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope that it's been interesting for you. Certainly, I feel really vulnerable. So, I'll see you on a future episode. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining us on today's It's Not So Lonely at the Top podcast. We really hope you've enjoyed today's podcast. I'm absolutely delighted that you took the time to listen, and I really hope that you'll subscribe to ensure that you receive future episodes too. If you want to find out any more, please do search It's Not So Lonely at the Top podcast, and you'll find it on your favourite podcast app. Thank you.